Brody. I'm the Global Director of Health, Safety, Environment, and Sustainability for Chromalox. And you've probably noticed lately that we're doing a lot of new and exciting things related to environment, health, safety, or EHS, and sustainability. So you've seen things like EHS training, you've seen some improvements to safety equipment, to guarding and machines and facilities. You've probably just heard some more general discussion about health safety topics in your daily work at your place of business for Chromalox. This is all part of our activity to build a strong culture around EHS and sustainability for Chromalox. I thought this might be interesting to sit down and talk with the president, Mike Sutter, about the type of culture we're building in Chromalox. So Mike, you just want to tell us about what's your vision for the culture we're building in Chromalox around EHS and sustainability?
Yeah, so great question and great topic, Amy. Sustainability is very important to all of us in the business world, and it's extremely important to Chromalox, obviously. And also, based on a recent acquisition by Spirax has had a long-standing program in the past several years around improving their safety environment. So we're obviously adopting that as well. For any sort of program like this, especially anything having to do with culture transformation to be successful, it takes everyone. It doesn't just take you as having the title. It takes me, it takes everyone in the entire organization to understand how important this is to the business and contribute to it. The rules and ways of working we followed years ago no longer apply. This is a new environment and a new way of working, and if we're going to shift the culture, we all have to work together on that.
Yeah, that's great. It does take a whole effort from the entire team at Chromalox. And how would you say that fits into what we've already been doing with continuous improvement? So this transformation into a new way of thinking about EHS and sustainability, how does that play into Chromalox's existing work and continuous improvement?
Very good question. So when I arrived at Chromalox a couple of years ago, one thing that I noted was there was already a strong continuous improvement culture within the factories. And so we want to take advantage of that in the factories and now nest in aspects of sustainability. But one thing we did in addition to that, starting in late 2016, is we raised the bar for continuous improvement to include what we call the entire value stream or lean enterprise. So we've added some resources in that area, kicked some projects off in that area, and that ties into the sustainability project. So now, when we're thinking about continuous improvement for sustainability and safety, it's not just in the factories. It's also in our sales offices. It's also when we're driving vehicles. It's also when we're talking to our customers. So the entire aspect of the organization will be getting involved that way.
No, that's great. It sounds like we have a good foundation to build upon when we talk about adding safety considerations to our continuous improvement activities that are already there. Let's talk about the topic of accidents and incidents, or injuries, if you wanted to give it that way. These events that we sometimes have, or shortcomings in our work activities where somebody might get injured. What kind of culture would we like to build in Chromalox around accidents and injuries and reporting those things?
That is where the shift has to start. It starts with each individual, and each individual being aware of any safety issues that may be currently present in the environment that they're aware of, or things that they may see in the future coming at them. Getting ahead of the curve and seeing things that could happen before they happen is the real place we need to get to. Quite frankly, we are not really good just yet at open communication around this. It hasn't been something we've paid general attention to. Certainly if someone was injured, we paid attention to it, but we have to shift that and not be reactive and instead be proactive. So that's going to take every person being aware of their environment, what's going on around them, and how they need to contribute and raise issues before they become a real problem. So it starts with each individual. It doesn't start with the supervisor, it doesn't start with the plant manager, it doesn't start with the sales manager. It starts with each person doing the job day to day, being aware, and then feeling comfortable to actually escalate it and raise an issue before it becomes a problem.
So it sounds like the way we could think of this is we workforce that's empowered to see something and say something. It's very similar to what you would see in an airport, that we have an open and honest environment where people can speak up. And what kind of action would you expect in response to somebody seeing something or saying something?
Let me take one step back because I want to build on your comment. I use that same analogy frequently when I talk about our sustainability culture transformation. See something, say something. Just like you, as you said, you would hear in an airport or something like that. That is really where it starts. So people need to feel comfortable about raising an issue, and then they should expect action on that issue. Some level of engagement in the solution, and certainly some communication around what the ultimate corrective action is going to be. And so, again, it's something where we've got to get used to this as an organization. It's not something where we already have a rhythm, we have to build a rhythm. So, escalate the issue to the right group of people who can take action on it, do the right root cause analysis on it to see what the real issue was. Sometimes what you think the issue is not the real issue. We need to get to the root cause. And then engaging the whole team so it becomes part of a new way of working with the corrective action. And not just words on a PowerPoint chart, but really becomes actionable in the day-to-day work.
So the most important outcome, if I understand what you're saying right there, is that the action in retrospect is the most important thing. You know, we encourage people to report. You see something, you say something, but really what's ultimately important is what we do after the fact. The action bears the most importance.
So I'll answer that in a slightly different way, but I think I'll get to what your answer is. What would make me the happiest that we're starting to shift the culture is a whole flood of potential issues come rolling in now. That people say, you know what, the company's really going to take this seriously now. I've seen this before. It could have been an issue before. It hasn't been yet. Maybe I escalated it 3 years ago. Nobody did anything about it. The rules are all changed now. We want to hear about it. So again, what would make me most pleased is to see that flood come in. And then, as you said, we have to take action on it. It's not just a matter of having a big list of things to do. It's actually actioning those things and putting the corrective actions in place, which will reinforce and sustain the transformation.
That's great. It sounds like there'll be a lot of ways that people can then get involved. So at the plant level, if there's a production employee that has a concern they want to raise, we'll have supervisors have a chance to get involved in routing and solving problems, managers involved in routing and solving problems. What are some other ways you can think of that employees can get involved in joining the sustainability and the EHS culture transformation journey?
Well, Amy, one of the things you encouraged us to do when you joined the company is we created basically 5 action teams, around various aspects of sustainability, and we sought volunteers to be part of that. This is not something where we want the managers involved. We want a cross-section of the entire employee base to be involved in the program. They all have ideas, and if it's going to be an organic, sustainable program, we're going to want a whole cross-section of people involved. Another thing we did recently, and you and Leslie Quayle from HR were involved in this, is we launched a suggestion box app. So not just for an idea in the factory, but we can also use that same smartphone app type tool to have folks submit issues that they see in the workplace that need to be actioned. So there's many different ways people can get involved. They just have to want to get involved. That's the first thing that has to happen. You have to want to be involved.